followed by 10 minutes of question and answer. And then when you're done, we'll shake your hands, tell you great job, and we're going to give you some feedback on your presentation in the back corner right behind you. And then when we're done with that, everybody in the room can tell them good job and congratulate them. Make sure cell phones are off, and I think that's it. Go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. This is our presentation on the Hub Rhino Station project. My name is Terry Makala. I have 12 years of military experience, and I'm LEED certified. We have Connor Bevenon, who has 4 years of commercial construction experience. William Lurch, who has our certified electrician. Juan Cortez, who has 6 years of construction experience. Dominic Vigil, with 2 years of construction experience. And then we also have Caden Larson with 8 years of construction experience.
So we wanted to start off with a little safety moment because safety is really important to us on our job site. One thing that really can escape your mind real quick is hydration. You know, you're on the job site, you're working really fast, you know, moving here and there, you could quickly forget to hydrate yourself. And hydration is very important for not only your physical health, but also your mental health.
William Lurch, he was our project executive. He worked on our cost estimation with Juan Cortez, who was our project manager. Connor Beveneau was our project superintendent, and he worked on our cost estimation with Caden Larson. Dominic Vigil was the project manager, and he also worked on the site layout and project overview. I myself, as the design engineer, worked on helping everybody where they needed assistance.
So just a quick title and content layout of our presentation. We've already gone through safety, team roles, and responsibilities. We'll next go over our project overview, our site layout, our building cost estimate, building schedule, and then we'll address our 2 curveballs that we had, and then we'll have time for questions at the end.
So our project overview. The project was located downtown Denver in the River North Art District. The building is going to have office spaces, retail spaces, and a parking garage. Times to get receive the LEED Gold certification. 500 square foot building, 8 stories tall. It's going to be located on 3601 Walnut Street. It's going to be surrounded by 36 Blake and Downing Street. We estimated a 20-month construction schedule with a $60 million budget. So with our precast and steel site layout, we rented across the street. We have our tent field offices, our muster area, and a restroom across here. We have our trucking route going through right here. We closed off Downing Street, as well as 36th Street and 1 Lake on Walnut Street. This is going to be our site right here. We had our steel section right here, and right here is along with our material staging area. 3 dumpsters here and 3 restrooms as well here.
So then for our general site layout plan, the main changes were that our steel and precast staging areas went away because we've completed that, we plan on completing that portion of the construction. And then those will become just more general staging areas until the 2nd and 3rd floor are completed. And then our other big changes is that Downing Street will open, but the 1 lane on Walnut and 36 will remain closed.
So for the cost estimate, we're just going to talk about the GMP real quick. We wanted to make sure that we included a lot of small businesses. A lot of the companies, we wanted to have LEED in their minds when they bid, or they tried to bid for this job. The Buy America Act for our steel, we wanted to make sure that they were buying their steel and goods from America, supporting American businesses and manufacturers. And then the Keep It in Colorado, there wasn't a lot of detail on where the subcontractors were from in Colorado, or if they were from Colorado, so we'll have to keep that in mind when we're moving further on in the project.
So with our building schedule, we had to really keep it on track. We couldn't let anything fall behind because we had such a short deadline that we wanted to meet. And so by doing that, we used a method called our top-down method, which is where all our finished work started on the 8th floor moving downward, and that helped us finish out within our 20-month goal, but it also helped everyone stay on track moving on to the next, our company staying on to the next project, to the next one, to the next one, so that way we weren't wasting time and keeping anyone bottlenecked or behind.
So then for curveball number 1, that one had to do with exposed NC cable to the element. And so our main priority was getting the entire building envelope dried in. And so to do that, we crashed our exterior sheathing schedule, and then we were doing temporary window coverings with like OSB and any exterior penetrations like windows, doors. And so that also allowed us to then keep working on and moving forward on the interior of the building to get all those interior walls completed while then we could still work on the exterior of the building.
So for curveball number 2, this is where the tenant wanted to move into the 8th floor a month early. But as Will said, we used the top down. So our 8th floor was completely finished before any other floor. That way it mitigated damages to the other floors. Also, we scheduled our elevator very early because we've had issues with elevator contractors on previous jobs. So we made sure to get that done early. So they were able to move in a month early, well before a month.
I would like to open up this time for any questions, and thank y'all for your participation.
I've already forgotten who it was, but someone mentioned the Buy American Act.
Oh, yeah, I did that.
Okay, so just curious, is that a contract requirement, or is that something that is self-imposed on us?
I believe it was, I think it's required for the subcontract, well, it's not required for the subcontractors, but I believe this is what, I don't know, we like supporting the American manufacturers, so I think it is required to have Buy America for most steel products.
Okay, yeah, I'll kind of rephrase my question because it's a little tricky.
yeah.
So is in the contract with the owner, so a lot of times if you have a certain amount of federal funding, right, it's a requirement between the contractor, us, and the owner. I guess what I'm after is it a requirement between us and the customer?
When I was reading through, I believe I saw that we had to have Buy America,
Oh, okay.
so.
Okay. Thanks.
When you guys are going through this project statement, did you guys see any opportunities for prefabrication? Try and pull up any schedule dates, anything along those lines, save some time?
I didn't see any opportunity for prefabrication to be done. It seemed as though that everything would have to be done as we were going. There wasn't too much we could do to anything.
The one thing we did think about were our caissons. We'll get those precasted. Other than that, there wasn't much.
Can you walk me through, I'm sorry, who did the scheduling?
Those were coming.
Okay. Can you walk me through just your critical path and how you found that and any concerns you have?
Yeah, you want to flip back a couple pages to there? So our critical path method started with our pre-construction, getting our construction documents completed, our permitting done. After we got also our procurement, we started with the foundation and structure, and continue on with the framing and the electrical. Then we did the temporary water vapor proofing so that we could continue with the inspector. After that, it was HVAC, plumbing, fire suppression, and then the temporary occupancy certificate. Those were all the items that didn't have any amount of flow. If we delayed any of those activities by a single day, then the whole project would have been delayed by a day. So the activities that we did see that had the most amount of flow were painting, doing the ceiling tiles, and the landscape. So if we had to push those a couple days, we were able to without delaying the overall project.
So with those activities that you had zero flow, do you recognize any opportunity for resequencing or anything to get a little bit of those activities?
We could have put a little bit of padding more probably to fire suppression and plumbing maybe, but we see that if we wanted to get them going as soon as possible and just having the companies that we contracted out starting right away and moving down, because then even if one of the companies, so let's take for instance, say our plumbing was delayed, we're then delaying probably close to 4 other companies that were coming in then, after them. And so that would have delayed us even further, and so it would have been just a domino effect moving forward. So we tried to, we could have put more probably cushion to them, and I think we actually did in the schedule. We have a little bit more, padding towards fire suppression and HVAC.
Do you foresee any risks, and how do you plan to mitigate them? And do they have any scheduling or costs associated to them?
The elevator was one of our biggest risks, because again, we've had trouble with them before. Another risk was, since this project is downtown Denver, there is a lot of traffic going through there, so public safety was a big concern to us.
Can you guys go through something just explain the past? Either phase is fine. I want to keep on going with your thought process around some public safety items. Can you speak to a little more, like, what are some specific construction activities that you anticipate to be more risk than maybe another to the public? And can you be specific on how you guys plan to keep public safe as you do that activity?
The crane, operating the crane is a big concern, just because whenever you're working with anything above, there is always the possibility of something falling. So that's one of the reasons that we decided to close off completely 36th Street. And since we couldn't close off all of Walnut Street, we decided to do the 1 lane at least, just so that there wouldn't be anyone walking there. Our fence line is on the outside part of the sidewalk, so there is no possible way for pedestrians to walk there.
I have a couple questions on some schedule stuff. So, you guys noted a top-down kind of interior build-out, or maybe it's more than interior build-out. We're still trying to kind of understand that. But my question is more so, we're building structures bottom up, foundations going from grade 0 up to the 8th floor. Are there any specific challenges that you guys were faced with going structure from level 1 to level 8? Are we hitting a pause button and waiting for level 8 to be built before we start anything in the interiors? Or is there some sort of overlap that we could still be working on, maybe floors 1, 2, and 3, then when 8 is ready, we're moving up there?
So I think what our main goal was with doing the top down was more in the finishing side of things. So once we're actually getting any sort of drywall, carpeting, any sort of flooring, acoustic ceiling tiles, that is where we were wanting to start on that 8th floor and work our way down. So we're not trying to bring materials through those finished space and damaging them, and then having to come back through in the punch phase and having to fix all those items. And so during the majority of the building of the structure, we can continue working on all 8 floors, right? When we're doing framing, point, electrical, HVAC, plumbing,
Okay.
that's where we can work even on the bottom 3 floors and all the way up to the 8th.
Okay.
It's just once we get to the finishing, we wanted to start on the 8th floor and work our way
So
down.
more so finished work is starting from the top down.
Exactly.
Okay. The other question I had, you guys made a couple of comments about elevators being critical, which is absolutely the truth, right? What is the predecessor there that's driving that? You guys mentioned you could pull it out in your schedule. What are you guys waiting for to start that work?
We were waiting for the right permits, everything getting in line on that end. But speaking from experience, all of us across the board said that we've just had that been delayed by elevators incredibly. And so we didn't want that to delay our project any further.
Okay.
And so that was kind of the motive behind it. And then, but there shouldn't, just getting everything permits, started getting everything, but that's our base, where we're gonna start first, is the elevators, getting those going up with our casting, and then also implying for them to, because it was 174 days till they can come out. So.
I might have missed it, but what did you guys get for your overall GMP?
Our guaranteed maximum price was 40.
I think it was 43 million, around there.
Are there any scope gaps that you guys see may be a risk, or?
I think one of our bigger scope gaps was actually in terms of the crane. We didn't quite know what size of crane to bid. We had calculated some of our beam and precast weights, And so I can see that would be like a scope gap there in terms of our estimate. And then another one would be, I believe the stairs, the concrete for the stairs was another one that there might be a little bit of bid or overbid, I think maybe actually, in terms of that.
Some other issues just in the GMP was the doors. There's a lot of companies that didn't bid, so our doors and hardware company, they didn't bid on the overhead, any of the glass. So we actually had to look at a different glazing company, make sure that they covered the overhead, the glass doors and whatnot. So, and as you guys know, we are self-performing that, the install of the doors. So it was hard to look down at that and see that they didn't completely cover the doors and hardware, every single door that we needed, so.
Thank you.
Good job.